No. Oh, there you
Hiya.
go. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a good day. On my end, it looks like there's a summer storm brewing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of summer storms, so I'm a little happy. What about your
Cool.
side?
It's 10:15 at night, so it's
Yeah,
just dark. Yeah.
it's just dark. How's the connection? The connection good?
Yeah, it's fine. Is it good on your end?
It is. It's nice to meet you
Brilliant.
tomorrow, Jenna. Is that your full name?
It's my first name and my middle name. My full name's quite long, so
Isn't
yeah.
it? Well, that's a nice name. What made you decide to go with that name as your artist name?
Do you know what? That's actually an interesting story. When I was at school, we had a DJ come in from one of the local radios, and she was like, "Oh, we're going to do some like mixing." It was on vinyl decks and everything, and
Nice.
she kind of got us all to make a name, and I just couldn't think of one. And she's like, "Well, what's your first name?" I was like, "Tamara." She's like, "Have you got a middle name?" I was like, "Yeah, Jenna." And it's just stuck since then. So yeah,
Wow.
that's where it came from. It was, but I don't know. I like the idea of where it originated from because to me, when I was kind of growing up and stuff, I was really anxious. So I
Okay.
kind of when somebody came in from like a local radio and it's like, oh, you hear them everywhere, and they
Yeah.
kind of help you piece together your identity. It's quite nice. So yeah,
Wow, that's great how
kind of
it all
where
worked out together that way.
yeah,
Wow, Tamara Jenna. And it's very intimate, you know what I mean? When you have an artist have their real name as their artist name.
yeah.
Now let's talk about the vibes. How are you feeling today?
How am I feeling today?
Yeah.
Well, I've had mixed feelings today, but I'm quite good now. Yeah,
Feeling better now?
yeah, I'm good.
So go ahead and tell the viewers what a day's like. What's the routine for tomorrow?
Wow. Okay, so I've got quite a lot going on really. Generally, because I'm a producer as well, I'll kind of get onto producing tracks for people. I'll sing, I'll songwrite, but I'm also a school governor as well, so I kind of have a load of policies to go through and things like that. So
Also, you're in a
yeah,
relationship right now?
in a relationship.
You said you're in a
What?
relationship?
No, no, no. I said I'm a school governor.
I thought you said you're single.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say, when was the last time, if you don't mind, when was the last time you were in a relationship?
Oh wow. 4 years.
Now, in this 4 years ago, were you a musician?
That's a really good question. I was a musician, but I was just a guitarist.
Guitarist, yeah.
Um, I used to write songs and stuff, but I'd never, ever, ever perform them. I did like one gig and that was it. And yeah,
Mm,
that breakup kind of made me realize what I wanted from life. And that's kind of where I kind of found me and started.
around that time.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the reason my album's called Pleasure from Pain is kind of from
Pleasure
what
from
happened.
pain.
Yeah.
So, for the most part, your music is genuine. There's no cap at it at all. It's all facts.
No, no, no. It's just a lot of tangled up truths, kind of put into a collection of songs, and yeah, it's a bit like a therapy, really.
It really is. It's a
Mm.
release. Now, I have that you're an R&B artist, rap, you produce, and like you said, you did the guitar.
Mm.
Now,
I started
what?
playing when,
Go ahead.
sorry, I started playing when I was really young. I'm 28 now. I started playing when I was 9. Um,
Oh, okay.
so it's like it's like been nearly 20 years. Uh, so yeah, I like to think I'm quite good at guitar, if I'm honest, but yeah.
So, you picking up the guitar, is that the first instrument you picked up?
No, I did drums for a bit when I was like tiny, tiny, tiny. Um, Guitar was a proper thing that I was kind of taught. So when I was 9, I kind of my parents bought me a guitar, and then I started lessons. But then once I got to kind of 6 months into those lessons, I was just like, I'm not feeling this. Like I knew full length songs 6 months after picking up my first guitar, and I was only 8, 9.
Dang.
And it was like I got really sick of it because I couldn't keep up with myself, and then I get tangled in my thoughts, and it's really shit. So I kind of stopped when I was 11 because I just got absolutely sick of trying to read music and things like that. And they kind of tried to steer me towards a kind of classical um, basis for my creativity, and that just wasn't me. So Yeah.
Speak on that. What's the inspiration? What music inspired you?
Do you know what? When I was young, it was R&B, hip hop. Um, but I also grew up listening to Blue. Do you know Blue? They're a
No,
British band. I'm not sure if you don't.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't.
So, um, I Boys to Men, that was played a lot.
Oh yeah,
Uh, you know, Backstreet Boys,
yeah, classics,
Steps,
classics.
S Club 7. I listened to loads of different things, but my mom was really into R&B. So her musical taste was things like Macy Gray, um, Gabrielle.
Macy Gray. Ooh, that's a name drop right there. She's a legend.
She's sick. Yeah, she's sick. What else did I got? Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, rest in peace. You know what?
Yeah.
What's amazing is maybe I wasn't seeking it, or I don't know, I just wasn't seeing it as much because back in the day, R&B was beautiful. It was something different.
Mm.
I'm talking back in the 90s, early 2000s, um, and it disappeared. But then I hear you, and you captured that. You captured that, and
Thank you.
I give you props because that's a beautiful sound. I got goosebumps right now. Ooh, man,
I'm getting shy now.
dang.
No, I don't know. I feel like R&B now, not all of it, but most of it is kind of geared more towards pop, and
Yeah.
it's kind of lost its kind of soulful element. That's how I feel. Don't know how anyone else feels, but with me, because everything's so, I don't know, I really feel it when I write it, and I
Hmm.
feel, I don't know, it's kind of very stripped back to old school stuff. Like my song Confidence, I listen to like R&B nowadays, and then I listen to that, and I can't listen to me and listen to another artist and go, oh, I sound like this artist. I just I don't know, and that causes me problems because then I think I'm not relevant. But then I listen
Mm.
to things like, I'll go back and I'll listen to Aaliyah and I'll be like, I'm not saying I'm Aaliyah, definitely not, but I'll listen to her and I'll resonate with that more than I would um, today's artists. I don't know.
Very
It's
true.
However, having said that, I do have kind of more contemporary R&B tracks on the album, like Little Me. I think Little Me is a contemporary R&B track. Yeah, but generally, I'm kind of more towards old school.
I think that's a beautiful
Um,
thing because a lot of artists forgot about that and they kind of ran with the new sound. And I find it
mm,
awesome when an artist brings back that old sound with the new. You know what I mean? It's like the evolution of music. Because I'm a big fan of R&B, and I love your perspective on it. Now, with with your song Mary J, that song is doing real good. Talk to us about how that came about and how you clicked up with CGH, and because she's another dope artist. How did that
yeah,
happen?
she's very good. I don't even know, We were just talking on Instagram as you do with people. And then I kind of heard her sound and I thought, if I hear someone and I find them really authentic and I don't know, if I connect with an artist, I want to work with them and I don't care. I have to work with them. I don't care what I pay or whatever. Not that I paid CGH or anything. She did it for free. But I just have to work with them. So I spoke to her. I was like, oh, I've got this beat. I didn't actually make that beat. That's one of my least beats. Um, but yeah, I got in touch with her. I was like, let's make a track. 9 days later, bam, Mary J, it's done. Um, and literally, with COVID and everything, we can't travel at the moment. I'm sure you're probably the same. I'm not really sure, but we still can't travel. And my mom keeps going on about Cuba. So when when I listened to that beat, I was
Hmm.
like, okay. I was like, okay, Havana, Che Guevara, Waves. Okay, okay. J, no drama.
Yes.
I like women. Okay, I kissed her upside down. Spider Man, Mary Jane, Mary J. And then I was like, right, there we go. And it just went like that. So then I sent a voice note to CJH. I was like, how about this for a hook? And she's like, yo, that's sick. And then I got gassed up. She got gassed up. And then 9 days later, bam, there we go. I didn't even have time to send it to a distributor. But I just wanted
Damn.
it out now. So I just used it as part of the YouTube campaign. But
Yes. Yes. It's
that's kind of how that one happened.
That's crazy how that all came about. That's pure art right there, the way you explained it. That is art. That is art. You're like the way you went with it is art. I can't believe how that happened. 9 days later, and boom, you said you couldn't even wait because it was that dope. It's that dope. Who put
I
together the
get like,
video?
yeah. I get like that. I don't know. I'll get an idea and they're short and snappy and boom, 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 and they'll have to be done. And then I'm kind of, I don't know. I get quite hypomanic, I reckon. That's probably the best way to kind of explain it. And then I'll have all these inspired thoughts, and they'll just be about 100 songs. Like some days I'll write 2, 3, 4 songs. Yeah. Sometimes I'll produce about 4 tracks in a day. And it's just like, and then other days I'm just not inspired at all. But that was one of them absolutely kind of bursts of creativity where.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I seriously give you props on that. It's a great track. It's a beautiful track. Now, is it a different process each song, or do you have a thing that you go to, like a routine on making a song?
I don't really have a routine on making songs, to be honest. I don't know. I get really in my feelings. So I kind of, if I think something, I will write it. And I don't plan what I write. I just write. And with all the tracks on the album, Pleasure from Pain, it should be out next month.
Yes, right.
I don't know, it'll just be however I'm feeling at the time, or whatever's around me, whatever inspires me, and there will be a song straight away. I can't explain it. I don't actually think of what I'm going to write. It's like it's already there, rhyming and everything, and then it's just bam, done.
Now, are you ever blown away how that works out?
Blown away?
Yeah, like how music just comes out of you, like, damn.
Yeah, it confuses the hell out of me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I have to take it as a gift. So
yes, seriously, you're mad talented. Now, Pleasure from Pain. How much of that have you produced? Was it all your production, or did you work with?
Okay, so it started. I released my first single in 2019 October. I worked with David McCabe. He's part of Universal Music Publishing Group. I kind of approached him and says, I've got this basic idea. And I was just messing about on a MIDI keyboard and kind of had the chord structure, and I recorded it on a sheet mic, went in, and he was like, okay, I'll use that as a demo. And then he just made this absolute, because to me, I'd never dealt in music production before. I just had me, my guitar, my brain, that was it. And he just turned it into, I don't even know what. Like, at the time, it felt like the most amazing thing. I was just absolutely blown away. Now I listen to it, and not because of him, but because of me, I start picking out my flaws, and I don't quite like it. So he produced that one. I came up with the chord structure, and obviously the lyrics and everything, and then he produced that. Some of the other tracks on the album, I've used Least Beats by Freak Van Workham. Have you heard of him?
I have not.
No. Okay, no. He's worked with Kalani, Western.
Wow.
He's got quite a good catalogue. So when I saw his stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm leasing that.
Dang, that's amazing.
Have you heard Snakes and Ladders?
I have not.
Okay, so that's track. That's one of his beats.
What was that one? Snakes and Ladders?
Snakes and Ladders. It's on my Under Construction EP that came out in January, I think. Yeah.
Under Construction.
Snakes and Ladders. It's kind of a grime track. It's kind of, I don't know, with that one, it was a track where I had a lot of anger in me, and I kind of just let it all out. And it's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you.
Yeah.
You snakes, but I'm going to keep climbing, that kind of mentality with that one. So, yes, that wasn't my beast. Which, yeah, there's a couple of others as well.
Now,
most of it in mine.
Now, with the production, are you selling anything yet? Have you worked with other artists?
Well, I'm on Airbit, so I lease my beats out there. There's a few artists I'm working with, but I can't really say who, because I'm kind of working as kind of ghostwriter, kind of in the background.
Nice.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Because that's an amazing accomplishment right there.
But ghostwriting,
producing for other artists.
Do you know, I don't actually think about it. I just I don't know. I'm always constantly on the move and constantly want to improve and kind of build myself. So I don't actually think about what I've achieved ever. Like, it's
Wow.
very rare because my brain doesn't work like that. It's always, how can I improve? How can I improve? How can I improve? What can I do to get better? Um, where did this go wrong? And it's kind of, it's a blessing and a curse, pleasure from pain. Like,
Damn.
that's kind of, do you know what I mean?
Full circle
I
right
don't,
there.
that's the first time I've actually addressed that thought. I don't know how it makes me feel, that's the truth. Because other than the negativity that comes with it, which shouldn't be. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does. Have you ever thought about taking a break? Really just soaking it in? Or is it just too hard to stop?
Do you know, I only started properly 2 years ago. So what I did was I bought Cubase. Do you know Cubase?
I do
Yeah.
not. I do not.
Okay, it's the digital audio workstation thing. So it's like Pro Tools and yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was like in the 40% off sale. So I bought the really cheap version, really basic version. And I taught myself. I was just like, right, and I was straight onto YouTube, started teaching myself, started producing, and I have not stopped since. And this was, I remember I saw the email the other day, 26th of April 2019. So since
Dang.
that date, I haven't stopped creating music.
We in 2021. That is wild. Does it feel like it went by quick or it took its time?
Um, I feel it's gone really quick,
Yeah.
but emotionally, it's quite. It takes a lot of stuff out of me.
Yeah.
But when I kind of think back to then, it
Hmm.
does seem like it's gone really quickly because it just. I don't know. I don't feel time when I do music most of the time. I don't know. I kind of get lost in it, and yeah, all sense of time and space is just not there.
So you would say your main focus is just music. You're just in the grind always. Do you have any time for like
No,
hobbies?
music is my life now. Music is music is my hobby, really. I think it started off as an escapism because I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I'd done 2 degrees and then I wasn't confident enough before that breakup I spoke about. And then it kind of, yeah, I just went from there with it. And yeah.
If you don't mind, I want to talk about um, relationships and musicians. A lot of times it's tricky. I know you've been single for 4 years, but in that time, do you think it's wrong when you're a musician and your significant partner doesn't really support you? You think that's an issue and that will tarnish the relationship? How do you feel about that?
To be fair, I wasn't even doing music when I was with that person, so it was
Okay.
just guitar. But
Okay.
yeah, I like to be on my own for that reason.
Very true.
Taking the time for that. That's kind of okay. So have you seen what I put out about my next song?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay, so that kind of addresses the issues
Uh,
that I kind of have around relationships, and it's kind of like I want someone, but I don't want someone, but I love you tonight. It's
yeah.
that kind of vibe, but deep down there will not be a connection going on. There'll be nothing, and you'll be gone by the morning, and that's
Damn.
fine because and it sounds horrible. It sounds so horrible. I haven't got time for it because I just haven't got time for it.
It's
So
it can sound like it's harsh, but you're being straight up though. You're keeping it in your buck. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think that's most important. Being transparent. You're being very transparent. Because
that's most of it.
to me, you're only going up. You know what I mean? And the more you go up, the more you won't have time for relationships or anything like that. And it's kind of tough, but you got to put that grind to be successful. A lot
Mm.
of times people don't understand it. Now, do you have a community around you that supports you, or are you on your solo dolo right now?
I kind of do, but it's kind of like people that come in and out. I haven't got a team as such. I've got kind of people that are kind of in and out of my life. However, there's a handful of people that have been there since day one. Like the one friend, Jasmine, she's been there since I started doing music when I was like 19. Like when I was 19, me and my mate Jasmine used to go to the park near me, and we used to just sit on the bandstand and we used to play, and I wouldn't sing. I was that anxious, I wouldn't even sing. Like, I'm the type of person that won't answer the phone because I'm scared. That kind of level of anxiety. And she was there day one when I was too scared to even do a gig. She's in and out of my life now. But she's seen the growth across time, and she's there at the significant times. So when we talk about, like, you know, a team, a group of people, no, but there's always them people that never leave my life, and she's one of them. So
Wow, that's awesome that you said that she was there seeing it, the anxiety. Now let's talk about that, if you don't mind, anxiety and like mental health, because when you're a musician, you really want to perform in front of everyone, right? It's something that we want as a musician, but then you get the anxiety. Like, what are some steps that you learn, maybe, that you use to help fight that?
okay, so medication is one. Mindfulness. I every night, every several times a day, I'll meditate, just to get rid of the thoughts that I have and just let them go, because I find if I don't know, I still get anxious. Even now, I'm anxious and I can hear it in my voice. But you've just got to face it, because if you don't face it, you're not going to grow. It's literally that. It's literally look the tiger in the eyes and just let it be. And it's kind of like, to me, it's like, I don't know, it's like having a demon on your shoulder constantly in your ear telling you all the things that are shit about you that aren't even real. And I've just let it go in my ear, and that's it. It kind of lives on my shoulder now, and it's kind of become a part of me, and I accept it. So I think once you accept that you're a certain way, or you're kind of inclined in having certain thought processes, you're better equipped to deal with them. So me, it's always going to be there, but you're not taking over, and I'm still going to do the things that I want to do. That's kind of how I manage it.
Now, you said that you were 28. Do you feel like you're still discovering yourself, or do you feel like you're tapped in?
I think I'm tapped in right now. Yeah, I've been through the broken kind of stage, and now I'm kind of putting myself back together, and I kind of feel that it's okay to be broken, and it's okay to it's okay to feel pain, but it's also okay to get pleasure from that as well. So I feel that I've found who I am.
That's right. Now, do you feel now pleasure from pain? And it's like, it makes so much sense. It's like, you won't know much pleasure unless you go through the pain, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's amazing that you captured that. Now, what made you decide to put the tracks that you did on for pleasure? Like, what made you decide that? Is it cohesive? Is there a story behind it? Or is it just a bunch of songs that you had in a vault that you put together?
It's just a bunch of songs that I wrote and put them together, really. But each of them, I feel, it's like I said before, I don't plan what I write, so it's just absolutely, it's quite raw. I just put together a bunch of songs and left it under that title because I felt that title matched everything I feel.
I think so. I think it fit perfect. I think it did when I hear songs like that. Now, you have the music videos. You have two of them. Do you have more than two music videos that I don't know about?
No.
It's just the two?
No. Yeah.
Do you plan on doing any other music videos?
Oh, yeah. Plenty. Well, I don't have the budget for them at the moment, so it's kind of like I'm kind of trying to, because I do everything myself. I'm trying to budget everything, I'm trying to market everything. I direct the videos.
Do you now?
I use Premiere Pro to edit them, blah, 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 and everything that comes with it. And it's like, actually, I don't have enough time, and I don't have enough money to do that. So it's kind of prioritizing when and how that's going to come about, but there will be videos coming.
Now, are you seeing any money yet from the music in any kind of way?
From a few gigs, not very much at the moment, but that's how it is at the start. I'm not going to hold that against anything, because everybody starts off somewhere. So
Right.
I try not to overthink that. But I reckon that will come with time and better marketing. So
Now you talked about doing shows. How many shows have you done by far?
I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Wow.
5 or 6.
All right, talk
Yeah.
us through it. How does that feel when you're on stage singing your music? How does that make you feel?
I shit myself. Absolutely fucking shit myself. But it's great after, because I'm just like, okay, demons didn't get me today, haha. So
Duh.
yeah, it's good to have a bit of, you know.
Dang, that's wild. That's wild though, because I could only imagine you're singing your music. Now, do you get into the groove, or are you just nervous the whole time?
No, I think after the first couple of songs, I'm just like, fuck this, and I'll go in.
That's
So
right.
it's like, you just forget and you just enjoy it and you get lost in it. Like when I said about when I'm doing music, I don't feel space and time. It's all very metaphysical.
Mm-hmm.
So after that kind of, I think it's a lot, because it's a lot of adrenaline, it kind of turns into part of the show. And I think
Yes.
Pleasure from Pain again, it's kind of that. Um,
Man, that
I have a
is
strange
wild.
brain. I have
No,
a really strange brain, but yeah.
it's beautiful. I love seeing a difference. I don't like seeing the same thing over and over again, and I appreciate this. I really do. Now, you pretty much, because you make the music, you do the production, you have a writing process, a recording process, you performed. Out of those things, what is your favorite?
Writing them, because it's kind of, it's very therapeutic. And I
Mm,
feel once I've written something, although with certain songs like Mary J, I'm really eager to get it out there. But it's because, I don't know, it's because that song was a happier song.
mm.
So it was like, my other stuff, I'll write it and then it'll kind of be like, okay, it's out of my system now. I don't really need to deal with you anymore. But then I think that's good. That could help certain people. So I'm going to put that out there, no matter if, like, I'll listen. I've got this thing where I'll listen back to my music and I'll hear it sounding different every single time I do it. And then, like, one day I'll think, oh, this is absolutely brilliant and I really love my voice. And then another day I'll be like, that's horrible.
Mm.
You are. And then it's like, no. And then, yeah. So I, sh- I use it as a therapy.
Hmm.
Um, and that's the best part about it. And if it helps other people, even better. Because I feel I've got a duty to help other people as well. Because if
That's
somebody
awesome.
doesn't speak up about feeling anxiety, depression, things like that, and people don't speak up properly about mental health, not pretending to know about it,
There you go.
because it's relevant today or
Yes.
whatever. It's a big part of who I am. And if
Hmm.
I feel that if I'm going to do music, um, I'm not going to scrap a certain song because it's not la-di-da and it's not happy, because it will help somebody. And that
Yes.
means more to me than kind of having all these happy songs. So it's kind of a mix, but yeah,
You know,
that's
you hit the nail on the head, because I think we don't do enough about talking about it. We don't. Um, it's a little controversial, but they were saying, like, during the whole lockdown, the whole world was in shock, right? We were all in shock. But they were saying the statistics on the kids doing suicide rose up so much. The suicide rate rose so much during the lockdown, more than COVID deaths. And they didn't
mm,
even speak on it. They didn't even speak on it. And it breaks my heart that these kids, especially young adults, they didn't know how to handle these kind of situations. You know what I mean? And for them to take their lives, it's just terrible. For me to hear artists like you talk about that mental health, it needs to be spoken of. And I agree. How do you feel about that? Like the statistics on suicide rates right now?
absolutely horrible. I think people are prodded into speaking out more these days, but the support just isn't there. I feel like um, it's almost like, I don't know how it is where you are, but I know here it's like we've got this thing on one of the main channels, called Britain Get Talking, and I feel they're only. I don't want to slag them off, but I feel that it's only because everybody's kicking up a fuss that they're starting to say things like that. But actually, who? Where's your support networks? Where is it that you're telling people to go to?
There you go.
You know, and what's the follow up for that? I just feel that certain people and agencies kind of address it just to shut people up rather than help them. And that's sad. I think that's really, really, really sad. So, yeah.
I think so too. I really think so. Do you think, because the way I feel is we're at a new age where the people like us, we're finally getting the power and the voice and the eyes on us more so than the media nowadays, right? And I feel like something's going to turn. Time's going to do a transition where we can finally be there for each other. In my opinion, do you think you see that transition, or do you still see that it's not going anywhere?
I think the general, I don't know if it's different for you because we're obviously in different parts of the world, but it feels like people on the ground are a lot more supportive of each other, but the higher up agencies are not with it. They don't really give a shit like they pretend to. That's how I feel.
And I don't think that would ever change.
I'm probably getting trouble saying this, but I actually don't care. I'm allowed an opinion, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think people should have their opinions and be okay with it. I think shutting people out is not all right, as long as you're not causing violence, you know? Now, I noticed on your Instagram that you have like the Creative Link Network. Who's that?
Yeah. Okay. So somebody approached me called Joella, who works with youth, a lot of creatives kind of. Okay, how do I explain it? It's really difficult to explain what it is because we haven't kind of got the narrative proper yet. But from what I'm kind of grasping from it is that it's just it's like a yellow pages for creatives. So it's everybody, every age, but there's different categories. So there's youth work going on where we'll go into schools and we'll offer them help with any of their creative needs. So photography, dance, music production, guitar, singing, songwriting, anything art, creative based. And it's a place where people can network and kind of link. So it's really difficult to explain because we're still trying to figure out how we explain what we're trying to say, if that makes sense.
It does.
But yeah, I'm a mental health ambassador for the Creative Link. So
awesome.
There's a blog on there where people can talk about mental health in a safe space, free from judgment. And that's kind of my role in it.
Wow. Give you props on that. Wow. That's awesome. So did you join it or did you help create it?
Oh, no. I joined it.
That's awesome.
I made suggestions and stuff, but Joella's got a lot going on at the moment, so it's kind of...
You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
You're a superstar in the making right now.
I wish.
I know so. I know so. Now, what about Outcast Society? How'd you pick with them? Let me close my window. Sorry about that.
CGH. CGH invited me to join that. And
CGH did?
Yeah.
How long have you been involved with that?
I think it was as we were writing Mary J, so it's probably about a month.
Oh, no way. So you're relatively new with that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know all the members yet in Outcast Society?
No, not all of them. Jim, one of my songs on my album has him on it. Best of Me. Sacred X, I've spoken to him a few times. That's it. And CGH.
So CGH hooked you up with Outcast Society. What made you decide to be part of that?
Do you know, I felt like, you know what I said earlier about connecting with certain type of people? I felt like the people in the outcast society were very much similar to me in terms of mental health and music and using it as a therapy. That's
Hmm.
kind of the vibe I get from the people involved there. So for me, it was just a no-brainer. I was going to join and I was going to kind of work with artists involved.
I think that's a great move. I mean, I don't know too much about Outcast Society, but I do know that they're a big component on mental health, and like big shout out to them. What about the Girls Army? What's that about?
The GIR Army. Okay, so it's just a creative space for females. I'm just a member of that. I'm not anything kind of heavily involved in it. I'm not one of the kind of people that put that together. But it's, yeah, it's just a space for female creatives, but it's really, really good.
That's awesome that you put yourself out there like that, though. You know, a lot of.
I try and get myself everywhere, so yeah.
Now, go ahead and tell the listeners how the music scene is around your area where you live.
Oh, it's amazing. Like 10 minutes up the hill, there's like Moseley Village, which is a place that's got loads and loads of live music venues. Um, oh, it's just brilliant here. I can't lie. The musicians here are amazing. We've also got a lot of places in Digbeth where musicians play. There's also another place down the road. There's just a lot of musicians here in Birmingham, and they're really good. So yeah, different genres and everything. And they're
That's
generally quite nice and quite easy to talk to. So it's a nice little community.
that's awesome. That's awesome that you guys work together because I know that a lot of parts in the world they don't really have a strong community to work with in in the music world. You know, and to hear that, that's great. That's only going to help your trajectory into the future. Speaking of the future, where do you want your future to head as far as career?
I don't know. I don't actually have a kind of end goal. It's just growth on top of growth on top of growth on top of growth, and then I'll figure it out
As you
as and
go.
when. Yeah, it's just as long as I'm growing, I'm doing well. That's how I feel.
That's a good answer. Tell the viewers what is your favorite song you've done by date?
Hmm. Best of me.
Best of
No
Me?
one's heard that yet, but that is definitely, yeah.
Why
It's
that one?
uh, I don't know. I feel that I connect with that mostly, most of the time. It's kind of a track. I don't want to go too much into it because I haven't released anything about it yet. But I feel like it's a track that kind of addresses loneliness and
Mm,
that demon in your head trying to get the best of you. Um, I don't know. I don't know why I connect with that song. I just do. I just really, obviously I connect with it. I wrote it, but I don't know. I feel that song, that's one of the songs that I listen to and I never think, oh, that's shit. And that's it.
mm,
That's the only
wow.
song.
When can we get a release date for that?
It's going to be on the album. I'm not going to release it as a single. So
Do you have any
hopefully,
do you have an idea on a release date yet or not?
the
For the album?
album.
Yeah.
I think next month it's going to distribution. It should be out next month, but I can't even talk about it. It should be going into certain music stores pretty soon. That's all I can
Awesome.
say. But yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's awesome. Now, okay, so Pleasure from Pain. Do you make an album and then kind of sit on it, see where it goes, or you just go on to the next thing, the next single, the next tape?
Do you know, I was having to think about this the other day and I was thinking kind of maybe I'll take a step back and just write for other people. And then I thought, no, why? But then I'll probably have that thought again tomorrow. So I don't know. The truth
Mm,
is, I'm just going to get the album out. I'm going to do a shitload of gigs. And I'm just going to enjoy myself and I'm not going to overthink it. I've already got about another 10 tracks that I'm not even putting on the album that I'm ready to put out. And it's
dang.
like, I just keep building on top of building, and I'll probably need to take a break. So that's probably best practice for me. So I might take a break, but knowing me, I won't, because I just can't stop. So
That's amazing that you have so much in the vault after the album. That just shows you're an artist by heart, you know? You're just an artist by heart. That's who you are. Now, do you have any footage, any video of you performing?
uh, there is some. It's not online or anything. I've got some on my laptop, but yeah, there's nothing online. There might be some from a live stream gig. Um, I did it with Show for You. I don't know if that's still up on there, but no, other footage is on my laptop.
Well, Uphill Radio would always be open if you ever want to, if you have a single that you want to put out or a specific song on the album performing. I would love to see any of that. Put it up on Uphill Radio because that'd be badass. I love seeing. Go ahead.
I've got a gig coming up on the 17th, so I'll give you some footage.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome because, any kind of artist that I put on Uphill Radio, I really see potential. I really see potential in them, and I would love to see anything to help you guys out. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it.
It makes me happy when people are supportive like that. It gives me a bit of a boost. So thank you.
Oh, you deserve it. Do you believe in Zodiac signs?
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and tell the listeners yours?
How about you guess? Have a guess. What do you think mine is?
I would say Virgo.
There we go.
You're lying.
I'm not. I am a Virgo.
Are you serious? Dang,
yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Do you resonate with that?
Yeah. When there's this thing called cafe astrology, and every time I read their kind of, what do you even call it? The horoscope thing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go, flipping heck. That's it's more accurate than you would expect. So some of them are written to steer towards certain things that might be subliminally in your head.
Mm-hmm.
But them things are specific things. And I'm like, you just extracted my brain. What the hell?
Seriously.
So, yeah. And when I've read kind of personality traits and things and numerology charts and things like that, it's just bang on. I'm a real big fan of the law of attraction as well. That's that's what got me into music. So when I split up with that person that I was talking about, there was nowhere else for me to go. So I was really, really low. And then I was like, right, I need to build my life back together from all sorts of avenues, not just from that relationship. And I was like, nothing could hurt me more than this did. So what is left for me? And I know that's really deep, but that's kind of where it went. And then I was like, okay, I'll give the law of attraction a go. At first I was like, yeah, that's just hilarious. What are you on about? But I thought, let's just try it. And now I'm here talking to you.
That's amazing.
I've done so this and that. I've bought Cubase. I taught myself how to produce. All of that purely from the law of attraction. So I really connect with astrology, astronomy, quantum physics, metaphysics, all that deep shit. That's kind of moving over. Yeah.
That's
but
awesome.
It's mad that you clocked that I was a Virgo.
Yeah. What is that?
I put something on my Instagram once, but I don't think you saw that story. So that's actually a bit mad that you clocked that. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I didn't know. I didn't see that. That's crazy. I mean, I can feel your energy. I can see that you're motivated, that you're determined. I could feel it. I'm not saying I'm a psychic or anything like that, but I can't deny the energy. That would trip me out. That tripped me out for sure.
What's your sign?
Well, go ahead and guess. Now your turn to guess.
I don't know, because it's you asking the questions, so I don't really have any insight into who you are as a person, so I can't really.
No worries. I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah, Gemini.
Dangerous.
Yeah, people, when they hear me say Gemini, they're like, they're either going to like it or not. You know, it's pros and cons to being a Gemini.
Oh, I like Geminis.
Oh, really?
Two-sided. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
get
like.
along. I get along well with Virgos.
It's good.
My sister's a Virgo, and we get along great. I got friends that are Virgos. Now let's go ahead and rewind a little bit to the beginning of 2020 when the lockdown happened. How did that affect your life? What was going on?
Um. So I was working in bars and stuff, and I didn't lose my job because it was 0 hour contract, but I kind of never had any work coming in, so it was like, oh shit. But it kind of allowed me to just go full force with the music. Um,
Mm,
Even now I'm working from home, so it's like everything still isn't 100% back to normal yet. But I think as humans, we kind of have the ability to adapt, and if we don't adapt and we don't kind of make amendments, we're not going to grow. So
mm,
for me, although it's been really hellish, it's actually allowed me to do more than I would have done
mm.
not been in lockdown.
That's a great
So,
answer. That's a great answer. I've been
but
hearing
I
that a
actually,
lot.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I kind of, I lost people that I was a carer for, um,
Oh,
my family and things like that. But
sorry about that.
no. So, generally, lockdown and COVID taught me a lot, and it's allowed me to grow as a person, positive and negative. So that's kind of my perspective.
That's a great answer. What do you think the future is for artists because of this lockdown? I heard that it might come back, it might not. What do you think the future is for an
Mm.
artist?
Do you know, I think it's really difficult at the moment, but actually, I think there's more important. I know it sounds bad, but if you're still breathing, you can adapt. And it's kind of our responsibility to adapt, as well as the government's responsibility to kind of provide funding and things like that, and to open things up. Like there's certain things that our government are doing that makes absolutely no sense at all.
Very true.
Um, we can't have live music events properly, but if we can also go and sit in the football though at half capacity. I
No logic.
there's certain things that people are not helping with, but actually I think it's also our responsibility to find other avenues and other ways to make that money, and to, even if it's to take a break as
Hmm.
well, um, and kind of just get along with creating music, then that can't be a bad thing. But I also understand that people need to make their money and people are struggling also.
So many people are struggling.
Yeah.
I think more people are struggling than they are being successful right now. It's not
Mm,
being talked about either.
yeah.
Like you said, I know we're in two different parts of the world, but COVID affected the whole world. The whole globe
Mm,
is affected, and it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing because everyone has their different perspectives, but we're all human. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I know here in the States, it's like a circus when it comes to like politics and lockdowns. How do you think your area is handling
um,
it?
I think, yeah, this is one part of me that doesn't want to have an opinion, but does.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm usually very open, but I don't want to. I don't want to prod things that don't need prodding. So, if
I
you know
hear
what I
that.
mean.
I hear that. It's a trickier thing. Now, let's go ahead. This is my big thing. I was confused. I needed to know more information. The Masquerade Ball in July. What's that? What's going on with that?
Okay, it's a virtual event and it will be on YouTube, and that's all I'm saying.
Ooh, okay. Virtual
But bad
event.
bitches only, so you need to bring some bad bitches for me. You need to send some bad bitches my way.
Yeah, I got you. Damn, that is awesome. I'm for sure gonna help you with that. Promote that on Uphill. Yeah, because I read it and I was looking at it. I'm like, this is so interesting. Like, what is it though? I was kind of confused. A
Okay.
virtual event.
Confused in a good way, or confused in a what the hell is this, or in a kind of mystical way?
It was in a mystical way. Like, is this an album? Is this a show? It was a good way, but I was confused. Like, what is it? I need to know. You know, it's one of my things I needed to ask you during the interview.
I like to make people think, so that's good. And the whole kind of concept of that track has kind of got toxic vibes about it, so that's actually made me quite happy. I know that's a bit sadistic, but yeah.
I love that. Did you put that all together yourself?
I came
That's
up with that
awesome.
idea yesterday. I came up with it yesterday, and I was like, right, so let's go. No, I came up with the. I don't even know. I've lost track of time,
Yeah.
but I think it was yesterday. Whenever I posted it, it was like half an hour before that. I thought, oh, masquerade ball. I was like, okay. So
Yes. I love
yeah.
that. I love that. Now, do you have anything planned to work with CGH again?
Do you know, she's actually mixing some of my tracks for me because I kind of got a bit overwhelmed and kind of listened to some of my stuff and you know, there's only so much you can learn in 2 years, and I need to cut myself some slack. So what I did was I kind of reached out to her, and she mixed Attracted for me.
Oh, right
She's
on.
mixing some of my other tracks, but we will work together again, definitely, and we're in talks about that, but it won't be just yet.
That is badass.
She's an
What?
amazing artist, and she's an amazing person, an amazing friend. So I won't hesitate to work with her again.
Mad talented, mad talented. Now, what about, is there any other artists that you would like to work with in the future?
Okay, so all the artists that I've wanted to work with, I've kind of reached out to them, and the ones that kind of wanted to work with me have and are working with me. But anyone else who kind of joins the kind of same, like, if I don't know how to explain it, with the law of attraction, people come into your life when you attract them. If other people come into my life that I think will kind of enhance my energy and my music and theirs, then I'm happy to work with them. That's all I can tell you. I
Wow.
don't, and it's not even genre specific.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I think you're a nice, genuine person, or I feel your music, or you're just real, then I'm going to want to work with you. And it's that simple. I don't care if they've got 3 followers, if they've got none, if they've got 1 eyeball, I don't care. Like, if you're real and I feel you, then I'll work with you. That's kind of.
That's genuine right there. That's the right attitude. And you're tapped in. I know you're tapped in.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Now, what confuses me sometimes is the haters. I mean, it doesn't confuse me. I get it. How do you deal with that? If you ever do deal with hate, how does Tamara, Jenna handle that?
Do you know, I haven't actually, I was thinking about this earlier as well, and I've never actually had any hatred towards any of my music, which is weird because in my head I feel like the whole world's against me, but actually they're not. So the
Awesome.
only negativity is actually that little demon on my shoulder. So
Mm.
I'm sure it will come in time. And as I grow, there'll be people who want to be horrible and whatever. But bring it, because pleasure from pain, baby. I'm done.
There
Like,
it
it's just
is.
carry on.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's say tomorrow, out of nowhere, your views go up crazy. You start getting distributors, labels calling you on the emails. How would you handle that? Fame is like around the corner. How would you handle that? And do you want that? The ultimate fame?
So here's what I'd do. I'd have I'd get really excited. I'd have a breakdown. I'd rock in the corner, and then I'd get cracking.
Ooh, that's
That's it. That's
right.
literally. I don't know how I am. That's exactly what would happen. I'd be all excited. Like um, I have like loads of different elements to my personality, and my mom actually names them. And one of them is called Hazel, and that's kind of the manic, excited one, kind of the one who wrote Mary J. That's a Hazel. Then there's other
Oh.
ones that go on a cleaning spree, and then there's other ones that kind of overthink, and he's a toxic little bitch. So yeah, so what would happen? What would happen is I'd get excited, and Hazel would show up. Then I'd be rocking in the corner, and then probably start cleaning. And then I'd be like, right, let's go. And I'd just be like fully in it.
Damn, that is a great attitude. Wow.
It's not
Damn.
an attitude, it's not a choice. It's just literally, I don't
Yeah.
know, crazy. But again, pleasure from pain. It's you know, it's difficult living in my head, but it's quite fun sometimes.
That is great. I love that. I love the energy. Do you know who Tim Westwood is?
No.
He's like a DJ that a lot of musicians go to after they, they hit success and they talk and stuff like that. A lot of times they ask for freestyles. How is your freestyling?
Wow. I don't know because I haven't really tried.
Oh, you haven't really tried? No.
No.
Let's say you're doing an interview and they ask you to do a freestyle. Would you just decline it or would you give it a go?
I think if I'm being honest, it probably catch me off guard because I'm one of these people that has to plan everything like a million times over in my head before I do them. Apart from when I'm actually making my music, but if somebody else put me on the spot like that, I'd probably shit myself. I'd probably just like.
It's a little intimidating. Like, what? You want me to do what now?
But that's something I can work on, and in time I'll do that. There's always room for growth, and there's one avenue for me. So
Now,
that's.
when you make music, is it always you're always writing it? You never just freestyle it? Maybe make a reference track.
Oh yeah, no, I freestyle, but I don't. If somebody asks me to do something, I can't just do it like that. It's more like when I'm in my own head, I'll freestyle. Does that make sense? I know that's a bit confusing.
Well,
If
you're in
somebody else asks me to do it on the spot, I wouldn't be able to do it.
now. Tell the listeners something that we don't know nothing about you, Tamara Jenna.
I don't know. I'm pretty open. I put quite a lot on Instagram, so I don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't know because I'm just that open
You don't
that
have a
it's
Snapple fact? A Snapple fact?
that Snapple. I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, we have these drinks in the States called a Snapple. And
Mm,
when you open it, the cap, there's always a fact on the cap.
okay.
It's just like a random fact
Just
that we had.
anything about me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a lesbian. That's probably one. Um,
Let's talk
what,
about that for a sec. Are you 100% lesbian? Or are you pansexual? I
I
know
don't
there's.
know. I don't know. That's another thing. I don't know. I fall in love with women, but I use men when I'm feeling rejected. That's
Mm,
that's kind of but I feel if I fell in love with someone, it would be for who they are, not for their sexuality. But I don't
right.
actually know. And I've only ever been in proper relationships with women, and that's where I felt my connections. But other than that, I can't really explain. I think if I was going to have to label myself, I'd say a lesbian.
So, but you have been in relationships with men, right?
Not relationships, but little um,
Yeah.
experiences.
So for the most part, the only relationships you've had was with a female,
Mm.
right? And going
Proper
forward,
like, love, yeah.
so the first person you loved was a woman. That's
Mm.
awesome. Like you said, you can't stop the heart from loving whatever it is. I know that I think it's pansexual. I think that's what it is. Is you're attracted
Mm.
to who you feel the energy with, whether that's a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. Just the energy. And I don't know about you, but in California, it's more than welcomed to love who you love. But outside of California, it is rough and it is messed up. There are bullies.
Mm.
How is that in your area?
Well, okay. So I don't give a shit. If people don't like it, you're not in my head. You're not anywhere near me, and I don't really care. You're entitled to your opinion, as am I, and that's it. There's quite a lot of people around my area that are just anti that kind of thing. But actually, you're not relevant to my life, so I'm not really going to entertain you. And that's all
Hmm.
I've got to say about that, really. Um, yeah, it's just not a thing. Like, if that kind of attitude was to infiltrate into my brain, I'd never find love. So I'm not
I hear.
interested in that kind of shit.
Yeah,
but you're entitled to your opinion.
I agree with you. I agree that everyone's entitled to their opinion, but man, why be so violent? Why spread so much hate? Like, really, what are
Mm,
you doing? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like love is so hard to reach for so many people, you know?
mm.
I think
I
that
think
go ahead.
no, I was going to say I think as long as it's legal, as long as you're not hurting anybody, love who you're going to love because it's life's difficult as it is without
Mm-hmm.
people telling you who you can and can't love, and it's like
Yes. Yes.
as long as as long as it's morally okay, and I know that's a big discussion, but as long as it's mutual
Mm-hmm.
and not some kind of like I don't know fucked up shit,
Right.
then love who you're gonna love. I don't understand. Like I just I don't know. Growing up like that, it was very difficult to like. I went to a girls' school as well, and there was like 2,000 girls in my school. With the biggest, it was the biggest girls' school in Birmingham. That's where I'm from in the UK, and it was just like I absolutely got terrorized for it. Really, I had my
Mm.
first girlfriend when I was 15, and I got terrorized for it, and it just made me thick-skinned, and it made me think I really couldn't give a shit because some of them people now have actually come out as lesbian after they picked on me for it. So it's like, okay, then
Yup.
that's fine. Like, it's I don't know. The hatred, that's their problem. I think people are very insecure, and if they
Yes.
have to take it out on other people in that way, then that's their bad energy, not mine. And that's where I stand with that,
Yep.
to
And
be
like you
honest.
said, you got to stay away from that bad energy. It's just law
Mm,
of attraction. Law of attraction.
mm.
That's a beautiful thing. I agree with you. I really do. I think it's a waste of time. I think you should love who you love, and we should focus on other things. You know?
I mean, what is it that's so bad about love? Like love in itself, it's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
If you're in love, what is wrong with that? It, what? I don't know. It baffles me, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, man, we may never know. We may never know. Will it ever be fixed? Who knows? You know? Maybe when we go to
Probably not.
Mars. Yeah. This world's.
Oh, I've been living on Mars for the past 7 years. It's all good,
Ah.
man. I
So how,
swear. I even wrote a song called Mars on my first EP. I actually removed it from distribution, but I've been living on Mars for time. I have. It's
that's
great.
right. That's right. Go ahead and talk me through "Still Love Me." What's the process behind that?
Um,
Love that song.
um, when you miss someone, I don't know, like when you've been with someone and then you just miss them. They're not there, they're not in your life anymore, and you just want to know that they still love you. It was that kind of shit. But then it was also so in the chorus, it was like, "Do you still love me?" But then it kind of went on to, "Fuck you. I don't need no one. Never getting married. Made a promise to myself. Blah blah blah." That kind of shit. And it's like it's that contrast in thought when you kind of want somebody back, but then you also want to say "fuck you, you little bastard" as well. That's that song. It's quite toxic, really, but it's
I,
kind of mixed up of thoughts and feelings and kind of trying to figure it out.
I love the transparency. Now, is there ever a time where you put a song out and you're like, "Shit, this shouldn't have been out," and you take it off because of like insecurities, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I removed my first EP because it was my first work, and literally, so I released the first EP in May, and then I released Under Construction as a single in August. And within that time, because of how much I felt I grew as an artist, I wanted to remove that
Mm,
from distribution. But actually, that's always going to be there. So I'm never going to do that again. Once I put music out, it's out there because somebody somewhere will resonate with it.
hmm.
And even if it's not me at that specific time, and even if it gets better, everybody starts off somewhere. So
That's right.
there's nothing that I've written that I think, shit, I shouldn't have wrote that because it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll stick by that. And it's, yeah. But in terms of the quality of it, I struggle with that.
Yes, it's hard on being your own words critique.
Virgo all over.
So 2019 was the first year you put music online.
No. Okay, so I shouldn't say this, but there is some out there from when I was like 18 and I've recorded it on a really old Sony Ericsson and it doesn't even sound like me. And like it's stuff like that where I just was messing about. 2019 was when I did a proper production.
Okay.
The things that people will find online if they have a look, which I suggest you don't unless you want to have a look, is me with my guitar or singing over some shitty backing track. But in terms of production, 2019, that's when it started.
Now,
So,
can they find your music on all platforms?
the old stuff or the
Your current music.
current music? So the Under Construction EP and Still Love Me as a single is everywhere. Anything other than that is nowhere to be seen. Hopefully. I removed it, so.
Where do you see the most growth coming from?
In terms of
Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Instagram?
Yeah, but that's probably because that's where I've kind of been plugging all my energy. Sorry, I've got something there. I've been kind of plugging all my energy into Instagram to kind of make a fan base there. Obviously, with COVID and everything, it's put a real stop to most of my gigs. So it's kind of like, oh shit, I can't grow like that. So I've done a live stream show, but who's going to come to the live stream show if you're not out there properly in the world? Not many people. So it kind of, I kind of plugged myself into Instagram and growing there and connecting with people. And then kind of it branched out into Spotify, YouTube. Like I'm trying to run a YouTube campaign. You saw it, didn't you? Where somebody Reese won a copy of my album, things like that. So Instagram is my main social go-to. I'm not even on Facebook. Like I can't even keep up with it. I'm too. I just yeah. I'm on Twitter, but I don't really plug myself on there very much. So yeah, Instagram mainly.
That's cool. You gave away an album. I signed up for that, so hopefully I can get one too. My fingers are crossed.
Do you do reviews?
Do I do reviews? Not yet. Not yet. What I do is I'll listen to it and give my opinion. But as far as like a review, I haven't done that yet.
Okay. Okay. For doing this interview, I will give you a signed copy.
That would be so badass. I would be honored to have that. A signed copy.
Well, yeah.
Dang, yeah, I would love that.
I'm not big like that yet, but yeah.
To me, you are. To me, you are. We're in the internet age now. Yeah, we're in the internet age. You're making genuine good content. It's quality. You're working with good artists. You're producing. You're a musician. You do the instruments, and like you said, you're the law of attraction. I only see you going up. I don't see you going down. You know what I mean? There's no way. The only way I feel like you'll go down is if you stop. If you stop.
Well, my mind doesn't stop, and for as long as my mind don't stop and my heart don't stop, I won't stop. So
that's right. I love that.
As long as I grow, even if it's 0.5 centimeter a day and then 3 miles another day, as long as I'm growing, I'm in the right direction. So it really means a lot that you feel that way towards my music and my attitude. It really does, genuinely. So thank you.
You're welcome. I very much enjoyed your energy. I thank you for being here. If there's anything you want to tell the listeners where they can find your music, anything else that we didn't touch down, go ahead and the space is yours.
Okay, so there's a link in my bio and that's pretty much got everything in it. If there's something you want to know, just DM me and I'll get back to you. Or email me. My email's on my page.
Tamara, Jenna, thank you for being on the podcast Up Here Radio. It was an honor. I thank you so much.
Thanks for interviewing me.
Of course. We got to do it again. We'll do. You have a good night.
Bye.
I have a good one now.
And you.
Thank you. Boom, we on. All right, now gonna send this to Triple Scar.